Turner. I was born and raised in Richmond, Virginia. My parents divorced when I was very young, at 2 years old. My mom, she didn't make much money, but she did the best she could. You know, if I'd have grown up on a farm out here in Tennessee, chances are I'd have been a farmhand, right? Like I said, I grew up in Richmond, Virginia, and everything I seen around me was drugs, alcohol-related, crime. And I got tired of needing shoes, clothes, and like I said, my mom did the best she could. She didn't drink or use drugs, but $5 an hour back then didn't make it. We had to move all the time. And I always thought that I was the reason why my parents divorced. You know, how come my dad doesn't love me? Well, how come I don't get these chances like the other kids? Started using drugs, started drinking beer at the age of 12. I started smuggling marijuana from Tennessee to Virginia at a young age. The disease progressed. The more I used, the more I needed to sell. The more friends I had, the more I thought, this is what life's about. You know, so I don't no longer need school. I'm providing for myself. I have the clothes, the cars, you know, the pretty girlfriend, the jewelry. You know, I was attracted to everything that was flashy because, you know, I never had none of that. I went to federal prison for dealing cocaine, stayed there, swore I would never touch another drink or drug, left there. Did great while I was on federal probation. I got real productive, even though I'm still an addict. I'm back to using. I've started a business. You know, I started 2 businesses. I'm doing really successful in life. I'm not breaking the laws yet, right, yet. I had an accident in my shop here in Manchester. A motor fell on me and broke my back. I wasn't into the hard drugs yet. I was just drinking. But as soon as that happened, I was introduced to pain pills. And then I learned that pain pills give me the same feeling that I'd been missing. Once again, addiction is right there in my life and it's alive. So now I'm hooked on prescription painkillers, right? Went to treatment, went to Bradford, you know, went to a lot of great places that kept telling me the same thing. You know, get a sponsor, work the steps, you know, and I just didn't comprehend that. I kept fooling myself and I'd get better for 30 or 35 days and I'd say, well, I'm okay now. I can go back and just use this, not as much. And that's how it always started for me. I spent 8 months in the old jail here. I just live a block from here. So halfway down this road, I met my son and we were both crying and I swore I would never do it again. Before I got to my house, which was just another maybe 1,000 yards away, I had seen somebody next street over. And I just cried to my son and I told him, I'll never do it again, I'll never leave you. But see, that disease is with me no matter where I go. There it is. And I sent him home, and before I got home that evening, once again I was high. Fast forward a little bit more, I got to go to the new Coffee County Jail. I spent 8 months in there. I was using so much when I got to the new Coffee County Jail, I died in there as a result, not of ODing, as a result of not having the chemicals in my body. They airlifted me from Coffee County Jail. I stayed in there handcuffed to the bed for 8 days. When I came to, I was handcuffed. I didn't know what had happened. I didn't even remember going to jail. And the doctor said, hey, he needs some help. He needs to go to rehab. This is why he was in a coma for these days. And at this time, my wife had no idea. I had left that morning, and never made it back. So 8 days later, she finds out that, you know, this is what all happened. And I could have died, and that would have been the end of it. And I really wanted to change. I just didn't know how to get there. So they said, well, you're going to be starting Coffee County Drug Court. And I was like, great. You know, anything is better than what I had, because that emptiness was still there. Even though it was 8 months without using, I still had this emptiness as soon as I walked out. I felt just as empty as I did the day I went in there, dopeless and hopeless, you know. I was always the guy that thought, well, what's the government doing about this? And then it dawned on me, you know, it's an epidemic. And then what am I doing about it? God's given me all these chances. What am I doing about it? So they got me more plugged in it. And then I got a little sobriety under my belt, and I started helping other people. And it teaches us, this program has taught me, I have to find that sufficient substitute, that emptiness, that void. I need to fill that void. And it wasn't through materialistic stuff, you know. I still like to dress nice and look presentable because I try to still cover up the old me. I don't want people to see the old me, but in reality, people need to hear about the old me so they can focus on the new me, because if I can do it, anybody can do it. Like I said, I was a drug dealer, a drug user. I was everything I didn't want to ever be in life. Today, fast forward, next Wednesday will be my last face to face with Judge Brock. I want to help people. How do I do that? You know, how do I do that? How's a convicted felon go back to college or get a degree? And then I asked, you know, hey, this is what I want to do. What do I need to do? Step one was making a phone call. Step two was going out there. Step three was applying. And in my mind, I was like, man, I'm not going to get this. Before you know it, I'm enrolled and everything's good, you know? And I can't wait to see what the future holds for me.